With the ability to independently patrol the oceans for months at a fraction of current expenses, Sea Hunter is a prototype unmanned submarine tracking vehicle created by the U.S. Defense Research Organization DARPA. Julian Turner looks into the implications for traditional submarine warfare. Stay tuned till the end, as in this video, we are going to learn a lot about the Sea Hunter. The 132-foot Sea Hunter is a ship built to track down enemy submarines as it cruises thousands of kilometers. The ship, which has 2 diesel engines and can travel at a speed of 27 knots, uses cameras and radar to keep track of its location and identify other vessels. The unit will serve as a type of testbed for these robots, exploring their use and integration into the fleet. Just the Sea Hunter and her sister ship, the Seahawk, are mentioned as part of the division so far. The Sea Hunter was created by the Vigor industrial firm and debuted in 2016. It's 132 feet long, can go 12,000 miles on a single trip, and has a displacement of 135 tons. Through computers, optical navigation, and radar, the ship navigates itself in autonomous mode as it patrols a predetermined region while avoiding impediments. Additionally, the ship can function without a crew for an astounding 30 to 90 days at sea. The U.S. Navy has received a prototype of the autonomous ship, which could be used in naval operations this year. According to Robert Brizolara, ONR's program officer for MDUSV, ONR is looking forward to continuing and capitalizing on the science and technology work when the Anti-Submarine Warfare or ASW Continuous Trail Unmanned Vessel or Active program moves from DARPA to ONR, putting Sea Hunter through its paces during testing. The specifications. The largest uncrewed ship in the world, Sea Hunter, is 132 feet long and has a top speed of 27 knots. It was built as a trimaran, the name for a multi-hull boat with the main hull and 2 smaller outrigger hulls or floats joined to it via lateral beams. Following a fruitful cooperative test with DARPA's Towed Airborne Lift of Naval Systems, which demonstrated Sea Hunter's capability to handle communications relays and intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance sensor packages, the ship's sensing and autonomous suites were tested in the open sea. To integrate the suites and use them to abide by the international regulations for preventing collisions at sea during operationally realistic scenarios, 3 tests were conducted in 2017. First, Sea Hunter tested its mine countermeasures or MCM payload and at-sea tests in August 2017. Tests were also undertaken by DARPA in the Office of Naval Research or ONR to validate a crucial design feature: the vessel's adaptability to handle various missions by switching between modular payloads. According to TTO Program Manager Alexander Wallin, Active's transfer from DARPA to ONR marks a critical milestone in establishing large-scale USV technology and autonomy capabilities. Our partnership with ONR has advanced the possibility of a future fleet in which capable large unmanned vessels and human warships work harmoniously to execute various challenging tasks. Robert Brizolara, ONR Program Officer for MDUSV, continued, "We are already working on autonomous control, a tough area important to developing MDUSV and delivering it to the fleet." The Active Program. In 2010, the Active program was introduced. Leidos, a joint spin-off of Science Applications International Corporation or SAIC, was chosen by DARPA in November 2012 as the primary contractor to design, build, and test the Active prototype throughout 4 phases of a $59 million contract. In his first step, Leidos offered conceptual design services. In the second phase, Leidos offered a final design and production plan. Finally, the experimental vessel was built in the 3rd phase, and testing by the government will take place in the 4th. In September 2014, the Office of Naval Research or ONR and DARPA signed a Memorandum of Agreement or MOA to fund an extended test phase of an Active prototype. As a result, construction on the Active started in 2014. The sensor and behavior systems will be evaluated on dummy ships before being placed in the Sea Hunter. In January 2015, the 42-foot surrogate boat equipped with the Active prototype marine autonomy system completed its maiden autonomous trip between Gulfport and Pascagoula, Mississippi. In January 2016, the yacht was finally launched. Midway through 2016, DARPA and ONR will test the technology demonstration vessel in the open ocean off the coast of California to assess its capabilities. The design and features of Sea Hunter vessel. The Sea Hunter unmanned surface craft, which measures 40 meters long and weighs 140 tons, has a long, thin body supported by two twin-cruise trimarans that each have a main hull and two smaller outrigger hulls. The hull gives the ship more stability and lift. The vessel can function as a remotely piloted vessel or operate autonomously, utilizing a simple remote supervisory control methodology. In addition, the ocean-going vessel can operate safely close to manned marine vessels thanks to integrated cutting-edge software and hardware components. The performance of Sea Hunter. Two diesel engines, one of which is operating a propeller on the Sea Hunter technology demonstrator, provide power. It can travel up to 10,000 nautical miles at a maximum speed of 27 kts while sailing at 12 kts in open waters. It has a 60 to 90-day flotation period. The ship can operate in all types of traffic and weather circumstances, both during the day and at night. At 21 kmph winds and roughly 6 feet waves, it can withstand sea state 5. Additionally, it can endure waves of a 20-foot height and sea state 7. The active prototype. It was constructed by yacht builder Christensen Shipyards under the direction of Oregon Iron Works. Later, the ship was transferred to Vigor Industrial, the latter's owner at the Portland shipyard. The National Robotics Engineering Center and Carnegie Mellon University will work together to create an autonomous system for the active. The vessel's autonomy will be supported by the Jet Propulsion Lab of the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, or NASA. The utilization. The Sea Hunter is at the center of efforts to create a new unmanned surface vessel, or USV, that could monitor enemy submarines independently over great distances for a fraction of the price of present models. Compared to autonomous ships like Sea Hunter, the daily operating cost of a destroyer is $700,000. Although the Sea Hunter's prototype lacks weapons, it might be armed for anti-submarine and anti-mine missions. Additionally, it could be an extension of the LCS-ASW module and used with literal combat ships. Given the controversy surrounding robotics, AI, and machine learning, it's not surprising that Robert Work, the Deputy U.S. Defense Secretary, stated the following: "The ship will be operated by computers, but a human is always watching and ready to take over if required." SPAR Supervisory Control is the name given to this idea, which denotes that an individual is in charge but is not actively guiding the autonomous vessels. It can patrol without human assistance for months, using optical navigation and radar to avoid colliding with objects or other ships. The Sea Hunter could eventually replace the requirement for larger manned warships because it works independently without a crew on board. Active, according to Fred Kennedy, head of DARPA's Tactical Technology Office, represents a fresh take on Navy surface combat. He thinks it's the first step toward the maritime chessboard's king and queen pieces being replaced with lots of pawns. The future of unmanned fleets. Former U.S. Deputy Defense Secretary Robert Work expressed his belief that USVs in general and Sea Hunter in particular might revolutionize maritime operations in an interview with Reuters in 2016. "This is a turning point," he declared. "This is the first completely robotic ocean-capable ship we've ever had." He continued, "Within 5 years, I would like to see unmanned flotillas operating in the Western Pacific and the Persian Gulf," stressing that such fleets would always be under human supervision. "A ship like this is nothing to be terrified of." Unmanned ships can follow and combat enemy submarines for extended durations, according to the U.S. Navy, which has plans to outfit drones with anti-submarine weaponry and new sensor suites to gather electronic and visual intelligence. In addition, multiple autonomous fleets may be managed by a single land-based crew, offering a cost-effective substitute for conventional, personnel-intensive fleets and flexible mission capabilities. According to The Drive, the service was considered forming an experimental squadron made up of Sea Hunter, the first in-class USS Zumwalt stealth destroyer, an Arleigh-Burke-class destroyer, and a literal combat ship for the purpose of field testing. This was according to Captain Chris Sweeney, Deputy Director of Surface Warfare for Aegis and Ballistic Missile Defense. According to analysts, Sea Hunter may even participate in actual missions this year, ushering in a new era of naval operations controlled by fleets of drones piloted by humans stationed on land. What's your opinion about this drone warship? Please comment your thoughts. Until we meet again, take care.